Last month, Brittany Broski's podcast Violating Community Guidelines came to an abrupt end. Her and her co-host and also her cousin, Sarah, both took to social media to share the news and said, "Well, you made it. The very final episode of Violating Community Guidelines. We want to thank all you weirdos for joining us on this wild ride through the wackiest corners of the internet. It's been real. But fear not, we have one final parting gift for all you real weirdos out there. From December 19th, we're releasing a series of bonus episodes recorded from the road to fill your holiday dose of VCG. So subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts from to be notified as they come out. And to keep up with us next year, follow me and Sarah for more cousin content. Merry Christmas and happy holidays." Fans speculated that there was maybe drama between the two because they just couldn't believe that this was coming to an end, and it was just so random. It felt just so out of nowhere. Especially in that last episode, they didn't really say that it was their last episode at all. It was just a normal podcast for them, which made it even more abrupt feeling that the podcast was coming to an end. Like, at the time of them recording, they didn't even know that it was the end for them. And a lot of people noted this in the comment section of the podcast, saying it's strange that the actual end of the podcast barely mentions it and still encourages us to subscribe. Really gives the impression that it was not intended to be the last episode as they filmed it and was only decided after the fact. And I don't think there is currently any sort of drama, as they have been very supportive of each other as of recent. So before anybody gets like worked up, like there's no drama. Yes, I know there's like no drama right now, but there have been things that have happened to make people think otherwise the last couple of weeks and the last month, and they've had to address them. So we're going to get into why people were suspicious there was drama and what they had to say in response to some of that. So when the podcast ended, Brittany was booked and busy. She was going on H3 and other podcasts. She had mentioned that she was going to be working on a solo project of her own that she was so excited for. She was really looking forward to the future, what it had in store for her. She really wanted to work on a show like Hot Ones where she could interview people, and I believe she's literally in the process of shooting this show that she was talking about.
Are you working on anything big right now?
Oh my God. I am.
There we go.
Thank you, Sam.
I am. So I've talked about.
Want us to clear it?
Oh no, I'll eat it.
Oh.
I wouldn't worry about it. I've talked about for a long time how I want to have my own Hot Ones. Like I want to do my own Hot Ones.
You want to host a show?
Yeah, I want to host a show that is like. So is it bad or what?
I didn't try it yet.
Should we try it?
So you don't want to do like Hot Ones, or you want to do like a talk show that has like a shtick like that?
Period.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, when the podcast was ending, people felt like Sarah was more emotional about their show coming to an end, and fans were really reading into every little thing that she was posting, feeling like she was low-key saying that this kind of came out of nowhere for her, and it wasn't the podcast network that made them end. There might have been something that happened between the two of them, or she was upset about Brittany's project. People were speculating all over the place what could have happened to kind of end this show, and if there had been drama between the two of them, if they weren't getting along anymore, or what the deal was, because they were just feeling like she was saying something without saying something, and there just had to be a reason why the show was ending, and they weren't really saying much other than surprise, like it's ending. When Sarah talked about the podcast ending, she said, "VCG is ending. I'm upset, but there was nothing I could do. But I am planning something that hopefully y'all will like. I don't know what else to say right now. Please be patient, and I hope your week gets better." She had also said things that people felt like maybe could have been about Brittany, but they didn't really know for sure. She had said on Instagram, some people can't handle that they did you so dirty because they view themselves as good people. And on Twitter, she was talking about these vague messages that she was sending, saying, "I want to tweet vague things. I want to give y'all a big old glance, and I want you to get the gist, but we're just gonna have to wait a bit. Let's all just relax right now." And then she confirmed that this was not by the studio's choice that the show was ending. Someone said, "Studio 71 is so annoying for dropping y'all," and she said, "Oh, they didn't." So that right there told people a lot without telling them a lot. Now, Sarah did have a new podcast lined up shortly after they announced the ending of BCG, and it's been announced that she is joining Kendall Landreth, this time for a new show. But even with that new project, some were worried that there was still bad blood between her and Brittany and their family at the end of the day, so people really didn't want that to be the case. Now, everything was kind of quiet for a little while, but this past week, Brittany was live on her second TikTok account, and this was the thing that had people like, oh, there's something going on, because when she was on live, she decided she was gonna call Trixie, and I don't think Trixie was aware that they were on live, which is definitely the first whoopsie. But when they were on the phone, Trixie said, oh, you need to give me the tea on Sarah, and everyone was like, what? Everybody that was watching the live just kind of was just like, oop, what? Oh my goodness. And Brittany went wide-eyed and oops.
Whose birthday is it?
My friend Tristan. I might have met Tristan.
Well, I'm gonna call you this week if that's cool, because I want to hang out and get the tea on Sarah.
Yeah, I would love.
That sounded so bad. I meant the tea of the whole story.
Yes. Me and Orville just hang out, and we were like wondering where you were.
My mom's in town, so I've been entertaining.
People were going nuts over this, reading into things, thinking that this had to mean that there was drama between them, and that if there was just drama with the podcast or the network itself, Trixie would have just said, oh, you got to give me the tea on the podcast. But mentioning Sarah specifically had people freaking out. Plus, people were already like, is there drama? Is there drama? So this sentence certainly wasn't helping out this situation, that's for sure. And in the same night that this live happened, people noticed that Sarah was on her Instagram venting about the struggles that she was recently going through, and although it was really just her talking about her sobriety, people were wondering if this had to do with it somehow, some way, really trying to connect the situation. After all of this, clips were then resurfacing from the live. People had screen recorded it, and tons of people were recapping it on TikTok. And Brittany ended up responding to somebody saying, girl, there's zero tea. I had told Trixie about the pod ending. She was just curious. Even then, there's no tea. We're just doing different things creatively. A few days later, Sarah officially announced when her podcast was going to launch, and she wanted to also take the time to address a lot of the comments that she had been receiving about the subliminal messages her and Brittany have been giving in regards to their show ending, and people feeling annoyed by them having to read in between the lines as to whether or not the two of them are on good terms. And Sarah ended up replying to somebody who said, at Sarah, the issue arises when you basically went on an internet spree of Brittany bashing innuendos and refused to say anything about it. I understand we're all human and have emotions, but if this is how you're going to handle your first controversy, you've got a long road ahead. Brushing everything under the rug just leaves everyone with a bad taste in their mouth. Being honest, open, and truthful is what you need to be in order to be a successful influencer, or whatever you want to call it. I guess you'll learn with this soon enough, though. We are happy for the success in your life, but with that success comes the obligation of truthfulness to the fans that brought you there. Now, I'll say I don't really agree that they have to give everybody an explanation as to what's going on between them, but she ended up replying to this comment, so that's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. She said, I understand what you're saying. No more innuendos. If I am upset about anything, I will be very clear. She also wanted to shout out Brittany and officially clear the air, letting everybody know that they are on good terms, they're supporting each other's separate projects, and she said, so guys, I'm really excited for the new podcast, and I know some of you are curious about VCG, but everything is okay. Things end. You can listen to our new pod, you can listen to VCG, you can check out all the stuff Brittany's coming out with. Just be happy for all of us. Thank you. So it seems like in the end, all is well and right with them. Maybe there was some stuff behind the scenes at first when they ended because they were just working on separate projects and maybe had different ideas of the future and what that looked like for them. But now it seems like they're on to their own individual new projects. Everything is in full swing and they can go back to supporting each other. I know fans of theirs are still sad to see violating community guidelines end, but now there's going to be 2 things for you guys to watch and listen to, so maybe it's all just for the best. Anyway, that's what has been going on in their world. It's clearly been a lot, an emotional roller coaster for them and the fans, honestly. But let me know if you guys were a fan of this podcast and if you'll be tuning into their new shows in the comments below. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.